A very interesting formulae there in the previous session by Mr. Shrikant Velmakani. And now, driving you to the next equally interesting session. Our next speaker is the founder of a company dedicated to helping you make a permanent shift to a healthier lifestyle. With a combination of advanced technology, world's leading experts, coaches, and of course, your karma. Those were his words. But wait, living a healthier lifestyle with technology and AI, did we hear that correct? Or is it just our dreams of becoming healthy without doing much, playing with our minds? Well, it'll be interesting to note how technology and healthy living, as also gaming, can come together. Let's hear it from Mr. Vishal, founder and CEO of GOQii. Over to you, sir.
Thanks a lot for having me at TiCon Chandigarh. And I'm always happy to talk about my favorite topic, which is gaming, but my even more favorite topic, which is health and fitness. And I think with GOQii, I had the unique advantage of combining these two passions of mine and bringing together something, a health ecosystem, which has been well recognized, well adopted, and now we are pretty much the number one players as far as preventive healthcare is concerned. So what I wanted to do for the first five, let's say 10 odd minutes, is to talk about the vision of health and what we at GOQii are doing. But I would like to also open this up and take any questions that you may have. So please be ready with your questions. I want to have this session as interactive as possible. But coming back to GOQii, so my background actually is in the world of computer games. I started programming and making games when I was 16, way back in the mid 90s. And I think in my case, I was quite quickly able to convert my hobby into a business. And I raised capital in almost the first dot-com bubble, 1999. And then we grew India Games to be the one of the largest games companies in India, which I exited in 2012. But that's when something interesting happened. What happened is that in school I was a national level volleyball player, but living a life of a game developer meant a lot of pizza and a lot of Pepsi as my primary source of diet. And of course, in no time, I used to look like a volleyball myself. I was almost 120 kgs in weight, and extremely all kinds of health issues were cropping up. And that's when I decided that, hey, let's try and be healthy. Let's see how difficult it is. I joined gyms, I bought wearables, I used apps, I went to diet programs, sab kuch kiya, but nothing worked. And the reason it didn't work is because all these things you do for 5 din, 10 din, hafta, 2 hafta, but you lose interest and you are going back to your old habits. And that's what happened to me. And that's when I realized that these things are just not working, and it is not just me. Interestingly, if somebody tells you that, hey, join this program and you'll lose 5 kgs weight, everybody will want to sign up for that program, but less than 1% are successful in doing it. And that's exactly what happened. I was in the 99.99% who failed at all these various health and fitness programs. That's when I came across a coach who was in my neighborhood, who messaged me, who said, I will send you WhatsApp messages और आपका काम है सिर्फ WhatsApp पढ़ो और मुझे बताओ आप क्या कर रहे हो. So he used to message me, yeah, what did you eat, what was your exercise routine. And to cut a long story short, by just interacting with my coach, I started training for running. I ended up, in fact, over a period of years, I did 14 half marathons, I did ultra marathons, I went to trek to Everest Base Camp, and I was able to successfully make a lifestyle change. And that change didn't happen because of app or data. That happened because of one important thing, which was motivation. So I think the biggest challenge in the world of fitness and health is not information. Sabko pata hai they should be not smoking or drinking, they should not be eating too much sugar or fried food, but sab karte hain. And sab kyun karte hain? Because it is difficult to give in to the temptation. And that's exactly what is happening with all of us. And in my background of computer games, that's exactly what we do. We want to make you play a game and get addicted to what we call a gameplay. And whether it is Candy Crush or Angry Birds or any other, I don't know how many of you've downloaded 4G, but all these games are there to entertain you, but actually get you to keep playing it and keep repeating it. And my whole idea was that healthcare mein missing element is gaming. So the real gaming was to kind of combine these two worlds of health and gaming, which had never happened before. Because normally what happens is healthcare kaun bana raha hai, doctors, or it's always made for what I call a provider. The chief customer of a healthcare app is either a doctor or a hospital or an insurance company or a pharma company or a medicine company. Consumer centric approach was massively missing. And if you know the consumer game, and let me give you the example of consoles, Xbox, PlayStation. What PlayStation does it, they give you the PlayStation, but that's not where they make money. That's just the console. What they're making money is by selling you more and more games. So that's the model. So I said, I'm going to take the model of console or gaming onto health. So we launched our first wearable, which is the GOQii first device, way back in 2014. And we said, this is a subscription model where you are not getting the device. Device to aapko milega, but what you are actually paying for is services. And now we've in fact expanded this service network, and we've added a GOQii Health Store where you can buy proteins, snacks, oils, ghee, and a whole host of health food and health products. We have also added health coaches, doctors, and an entire health ecosystem. So the idea ये है कि आप जब GOQii में आते हैं, and we position GOQii as a game. In fact, our GOQii users are not called patients or customers; they're called players, खिलाड़ी. And when you come into the world of GOQii, you are almost like a character in a video game. And your job in this video game is to become healthy. How do you play the game of life? And how do you level up in that game of life? So that was the kind of framework we built. And in building this framework, and let me see if I actually have one slide which I want to show all of you to kind of explain you how the game of life works and how do you win. The question is, how do you win in this game of life? Isko jeette kaise hai? And just imagine, we were able to basically decode the game of life into a product offering. So that's exactly what we were able to do at GOQii. And a lot of people don't understand it, which is why I want to go in a little more depth to kind of show you, because you know you're all entrepreneurs, you're all building products and services and startups. तो आपको एक चीज दिखाते हैं आज. So this, by the way, is our framework. So I don't know if all of you can see the slide. I hope you can. So if you see the framework of GOQii, and we call it winning the game of life. So what is the game of life? If you had to play the game of life, who is the winner of this game? The winner of this game is somebody who can live longer and healthier. So longevity is our key output of this game. And longevity बहुत important चीज है. आपको बताऊं, इंडिया में average age is about 66, 67. Japan में average age is 85, 86. And there are many people who live over 100 years. So the problem is कि इंडिया में जो life expectancy itself is very low. So my goal really was that how do you improve your longevity? And if longevity was a game, you do that by leveling up your immunity. And luckily, because of coronavirus and COVID, everybody has heard this word immunity. कि immunity क्या है? तो आप ये सोचो कि अगर immunity को बढ़ाने की कोई game बना दी जाए, that game is GOQii. But how do you crack this game? So the different levels of this game, or the different focus areas for us, start from sleep, nutrition, fitness, cognition, and finally happiness. So आप ये सोच लो कि ये अलग-अलग levels हैं इस game के. And as you keep leveling up yourself, as you improve your sleep, as you improve your nutrition, you are slowly and steadily building immunity, which improves your longevity. So that was the kind of framework which we are trying to do at GOQii. And luckily for us, we got the ultimate khiladi, Akshay Kumar sir. And Akshay came in as a brand ambassador. so that this idea and this concept of GOQii could be communicated to the wider world. And once again, for us, the whole Corona pandemic was a blessing in disguise. As you heard, many businesses in healthcare were struggling, gyms had to shut down, doctor consultations were becoming more and more challenging. But our entire business was designed for remote care. GOQii, in fact, we launched our new device, GOQii Smart Vital, जिसके अंदर हमने SpO2, body temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, all parameters were put in. You can wear this device and remotely monitor, and this is connected to a doctor, a coach, an entire health ecosystem. And we also integrated this into insurance. So the idea was that you play this game of life, become healthy, the real game, and then you get benefits from this game. And the benefit is getting cheaper products, cheaper services, which is the short term benefit. The slightly mid term benefit is better insurance, but the long term benefit is longevity, because everybody wants to live longer, but they don't want to suffer. Because एक चीज हमने रिसर्च की तो हमको पता चला that most people are saying, I don't want to live longer. And why? Because they are seeing that in old age, people are suffering. And the reason of suffering is because traditional जो medicines है, वो आपको बोलेंगे अभी dialysis करा लो, hip replace करा लो, knee replace करा लो. So you will be living, but your life quality is very, very poor as you age. But that's not the way to live in the game if you are going to be a khiladi, like we say. So for us, living longer is not about living longer on a hospital bed, but living longer is about you having fun at 85, running a marathon, or taking part in your favorite sport, being active and living healthier. And I think if you see somebody like Akshay Kumar, he's close to 55 now. I mean, his energy and strength is almost of anybody who will be in their 20s. So you can understand iska jo framework kya hai. So I think gaming has a lot of use cases in many industries. बट लोग क्या करते हैं कि बोलते हैं हमने गेमिफाइड कर दिया. गेमिफाइड मतलब क्या, हमने एक लीडर बोर्ड बना दिया या 2-3 लेवल डाल दिए या बैचेस डाल दिए. ऐसा नहीं होता है गेमिंग. Gaming is a much more complex phenomenon, and there are different methods of gaming. There is what is called the name and shame, which is leaderboards. But for health, just to give you a context, leaderboard is the worst form of gaming. Why? Because already people are not very interested in becoming healthy, और बाद में लीडर बोर्ड देखते हैं और उनको दिखता है कि यार हमारे से आगे तो बहुत है, मैं तो ऑलरेडी लीडर बोर्ड में नंबर 900 हूँ. तो they get even more demotivated. Leaderboards work for people who are like achievers. अगर आप मैराथन रनर ग्रुप बना रहे हो उसमें लीडर बोर्ड चलेगा. बट अगर आप वो यूजर ग्रुप बना रहे हो जो हमारे कंज्यूमर्स है, सो हु इज एग्जैक्टली अ GOQii यूजर? तो द GOQii यूजर इज व्हाट वी कॉल्ड अ काउच पोटैटो. वो जो मतलब घर पे बैठा हुआ है, उसने उसको बस घर पे बैठ के हेल्दी होना है, वो अब तक बाहर निकला ही नहीं है. And for that user, leaderboards don't work. So understanding your consumer is very, very important. And we at GOQii spend a lot of time doing that. Also, being very, very consumer centric also means having a lot of emphasis on customer service. And for us at GOQii, just to give you an example, if you are ever having an issue on Twitter, 90% of the time I would even respond directly to these queries, because for us, solving the consumer's problem first is more important rather than taking them through the typical standard form as far as customer service is concerned. So net, I would say there's a lot of learnings in the world of gaming, and this real learnings can be very, very easily adopted in the world of healthcare, and that's what we are doing, and creating a completely disruptive system of preventive healthcare. So I don't know if I'm not seeing any more questions here, but if anybody has, they can. I'm looking at my questions window, but I don't see. Are there any questions coming up here? I want to just check with the Tycon team. But I think that net. I think it's exciting to be talking to all the people here, and I'm always available to be reached on any of the social media platforms. And all I can say is that Corona has now shown that while human race is very, very strong and resilient, one thing which is important is you can't depend on medicines, or you can't depend on somebody to help you. Finally, you need to take charge of your own health, and you need to invest in yourself. And that's the whole idea behind what we are doing at GOQii. And my recommendation to all of you is to stay healthy and stay happy and be the force. Thank you. Are we getting any questions, or anyway, we'll take the questions offline? Oh, there's a question. Okay, thank you. Finally, we got one. So there's a question from Ramya, that does diversifying products and services come in the way of core of the gaming business? So again, it is not about diversifying products and services. If you are able to construct it in the world, so for us, GOQii is a way of life. So if we are telling you a way of life, तो आपको हमको कपड़े भी देने होंगे. You can see the GOQii t-shirt. आपको हमें खाना भी देना होगा, आपको हमको एडवाइस भी देनी होगी, आपको हमको इंश्योरेंस भी देना होगा, आपको हमको पेमेंट्स भी देनी होगी. So once you put your consumer in the center and you realize कि what all can I do to help the consumer, then all this will make sense, because the core is the consumer. But if you think about your core as being healthcare, then you say, मैं तो healthcare हूँ, मैं टी-शर्ट क्यों बेच रहा हूँ, या मैं इंश्योरेंस क्यों बेच रहा हूँ, या मैं holidays क्यों बेच रहा हूँ? Because you are thinking of your business to be healthcare. While what we are saying is our business is to make a lifestyle change. So we need to be part of every element of a consumer's life, which is how we look at the business. Any other questions? Great. I think it was a pleasure interacting with all of you folks, and looking forward to being in touch. Oh, there's one more. Do you think age with uh, age with interest in gaming reduces? Question mark for Ankit. No, absolutely no, Ankit. In fact, US, the average age of a gamer is much more older. It's about 40, because they grew up playing games. तो अभी क्या है कि इंडिया में गेमिंग कल्चर लेट आया, तो अभी आप देख रहे हैं जो यंग प्ले पीपल हु आर प्लेइंग गेम्स. बट इन द नेक्स्ट 15, 20, 30 years, these people who are playing games will, as they grow older, will continue to play this. Because when we were younger, itni gaming opportunity, because PC gamings were not that penetrated, or console games. So you will see this phenomenon of older gamers coming up as the society becomes older. So it's not nothing to do with the age. Perfect. Then thanks a lot once again, and looking forward to the next session of TiECon Chandigarh. Thank you.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session, sir. I loved the part where you talked about winning the game of life. Very interesting. Sir, we hope to host you again and learn more from you. For now, we bring the session to an end.